LinkedIn is full of fiction and the gurus are giving you really bad advice. So what I want to talk about tonight in this video, we're going to cover the so-called advice, the 18 most common interview questions that you need to prepare for, which is fiction, and then what really is happening in interviews. So let's get started. So as most of you know, I've been looking for a job, and I've been sharing some of my experiences. And so I commonly will get myself ready for an interview, research the company, all of those kind of things, understand what my experience is and how it aligns to the job. And then I go through a different, kind of set of questions to get myself ready. What you're being told is that you're going to be asked, 18 most common behavioral questions. Where I do agree with the gurus is that you will be asked what they call STAR questions. So situation, task, action, results. You will be asked those kind of things, and they're not completely wrong about that. Where they are wrong is I've never been asked any of these questions. So let's talk about it. So the first thing is, here's some examples. Tell me about your greatest accomplishment on the job. Never been asked that. Tell me about a difficult situation you encountered at work and how you overcame that. I have been asked that, to be honest. Give me 3 adjectives you would use to describe yourself. Never been asked that. Give me 3 adjectives, I'll keep going. If I was to ask a coworker about you, how would they describe you? This is not happening. None of this is happening. Tell me about a time when you were requested to work with a difficult person and how did you handle it? That might come up. If you were given a task to complete in an unrealistic time frame, what would you do? Never been asked that. If someone came to you with an enthusiastic yet unrealistic request, how would you handle it? Again, I've never been asked that. So let's talk about what I really have experienced and what you really can expect to experience and how I think the best way is to go forward. So I'll give you example number 1. Recently had an interview. I applied for the role. I looked at the job description. I said, wow, this looks great. My experience completely matches this and sounds like a great job. This is for one of the top tech companies out there. Hands down, bar none. Everybody wants to work for this company. I applied, tailored my resume, sent it in. The recruiter got back to me and we set up an interview. What happened was, that's actually not the job. She said, yeah, as we were kind of, hi, hello, how are you, blah, 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 all the kind of common recruiter, discussion. Turns out it wasn't really the job at all. And I really wasn't qualified for it. Well, I was qualified for it, but I wouldn't really do that job, nor would I apply for that job. So that's one thing that's happening. I want to give you an example of the actual questions that they did ask of me, and I'll do that for you right now. So let me just check that. Hang on, get my notes here. Again, so, the job description is not what they said it was going to be. And then here was how I was told to prepare. These are the real questions. Okay. We are going to assess your functional skills. Blah, 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 blah. We are listening for your ability to own complex solutions and services in a customer-facing capacity, develop complex financial models, again, not in the job description at all, to make decisions, recommendations, and that you can lead and support negotiations in complex terms. Here it was what I was counseled to be ready for. Let's see. Again, 18 most common behavioral questions kind of doesn't happen at all. Here's what did happen. Be sure to have 2 to 3 complex deals, negotiations, business cases you can speak to in detail regarding methodology, tracking rigor, risk mitigation, custom pricing development, field sales engagement, negotiations, and customer outcomes to showcase the ability to deliver with difficulty. These examples should showcase complex solutions, terms and conditions, specialized investments, and strategic deal structures that have helped customers transform businesses, reach new customers, streamline operations, or expand regions versus simply discounting. Okay, that's a real interview question, not tell me about your greatest weakness. What did you do to overcome a challenge? I mean, that kind of comes up, but not really. So, the amount of stories, fake stories on LinkedIn are just nonsense. LinkedIn has become a social media platform. And then secondly, all of the ways and things that they tell you to prepare for aren't in reality what's really happening, as exampled by a real life interview that I just had. Secondly, that's one interview. Other interviews, I've been asked questions such as, what podcast do I listen to? I've been asked to solve a riddle. I've been asked just what was on my resume, or what am I doing to upskill that's not on your resume? Okay. I don't even know what that means or why you're even asking that, but I'm happy to share. So anyway, you get the picture. I know all of us have been looking at LinkedIn, and we look at it and we're just like, where did you make up that story? In fact, I bookmarked something. I really need to share this with everybody. Let me go to my LinkedIn page. This is another guru. Now, I have been in sales for, I don't know, 20 years. Seriously. Okay, wait. Hang on. LinkedIn. I bookmarked it because it was so insane. Let me go to it right now. Okay, saved items. This is a real thing. Saved items, saved posts. This woman put this post up, and as soon as I get my software worked out, I'll share the actual page with you, but this woman is supposedly a founder, a sales leader, blah, blah, blah. She said, this is a huge red flag when I'm hiring for a hunter role. I recently interviewed a candidate with strong background, seemed like a great fit. She was interested in moving forward. Then came the follow-up interview. In quotes, I'm currently making $75,000 a year. I won't move forward unless I'm guaranteed $80,000 a year. Her current role is a 75-25% split. At least she's making $100,000, whatever, in total. This role, a $75,000 base with a clear, realistic path to $150,000, and she was stuck on the base. Here's the issue. Hunters don't play for guarantee. They play for the upside. If a salesperson is frustrated on base salary and they're telling you loud and clearly they don't trust themselves to hit quota, that's not a hunter, that's a red flag. Okay, that's fiction. That woman is giving you crap advice. First of all, any good salesperson is always going to negotiate the best deal that they can get for themselves, always. So that's just nonsense. Secondly, this woman knows nothing about hunting and nothing about selling, because as we all know, and from my experience, how do you know that the product is good? How do you know that the roadmap that this company is selling to you is, really reality? I mean, how much nonsense are they feeding to you is what I want to ask you. So yeah, I'm a hunter, but I have to have a good salary. First of all, I'm senior level talent, as many of you are too, and why shouldn't I be paid and negotiate for the best base salary I can get? for my level and many of your levels that are out there and people that are in my audience, you know, we're talking about deals that are in the millions and millions of dollars. And you know what? They don't happen transactionally. They can take a year and a half to 2 years to 3 years to get done. And I'm going to need a good base salary. I'm going to be working my butt off. I have bills to pay. And you better believe, just because you're a hunter, I'm not betting on my upside. I'm betting on your upside more than anything else, meaning the company that I'm going to. I've been in so many companies where senior leadership just throws things up there, thinks it's going to work, hire a bunch of salespeople, and you know, if it doesn't work out, then in 2 years they fire a bunch of salespeople. So anyway, enough about my rant. I think you get the picture about what I think is going on LinkedIn, what I know is going on LinkedIn, and what I've experienced. What I want to talk about is how I'm handling it and what I'm doing to prepare and move forward and get to the right job. And so I actually think that you really should be studying things about, you know, yes, have a brag book and have a portfolio. Point to a portfolio. Right now, I'm in the middle of building my portfolio. I'm going to have that on a WordPress site. So that should be there. You should have you know, examples and a story bank of, you know, database of stories where you've had a great win or you've overcome something or you've, you know, improved a process. All of those things should be done. But I really do believe one of the best ways to prepare, especially for senior level roles, is to study executive speak and get better at your language and get better at your presentation skills. I know that's something that I need to do, but that's much more real world than all this nonsense that's going on LinkedIn. So I'm going to leave it there for tonight, but that's what I wanted to share. I really am sick of the fiction. LinkedIn is nothing but fiction. There's very few, you know, real things out there. If you know the people, that's great, and I agree. But all these gurus, don't listen to the gurus. That's not what's happening. What's happening from my real world experience is they're interviewing for jobs that don't match the job description, number one. Number two, they're asking, none of these things that these recruiters are preparing you for are actually happening in interviews. So just get ready for that. In fact, I will tell you that the less I prepare for interviews, the better I do. I had 2 interviews this week. One, I went through the questions that I was supposed to be prepared for. She gave me so much information, so many different things that I needed to cover and what I could expect on the interview that it made me crazy. And I didn't do well on the interview and I didn't get the job, which is totally fine because, you know what, it probably wasn't the right job anyway, so I'm not really sweating that. The second interview I had, which was today, I actually didn't prepare for it really at all. I'm generally prepared. And it was a wonderful interview. I hope I get the job. I worked with the manager would be great, reasonable person, realistic on what it really takes to sell and how to run a territory, and we had a dialogue and a discussion and not a stupid interview. So anyway, that's really my information for tonight. I hope this is, you know, valuable to you, and also go back to my other video under my LinkedIn and my playlist there, and you can talk about it. And then also I would really love to hear all of your experiences. Is this what's happening to me and you guys are seeing something else? I mean, I really want to know. Anyway, thanks so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.